we needed to do for a game of war, we needed to create a card class. So the card class here is right here. It basically breaks down the values of the cards and the names of the cards. Um, the Queen of Hearts, Two of Diamonds, Jack of Spades, so on and so forth, and assigns them a value. So here's the breakdown with all my methods and everything, along with final thing that would have like this card is the Ace of Spades with a value of 14 in this case. The next thing we needed to do was create a class for a deck, which has all the cards in them and all the breakdowns of them and everything like that. So here's the breakdown. So creates a deck. It names the cards, and then it breaks down. We've got four different suits: spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. And then within each suit, there are 13, even though it looks like 14. There are 13 cards in each suit for a total of 52 cards. In the instance that a value of 11, 12, 13, or 14 is picked, 11 is assigned the jack of, 12 is assigned the queen of, 13 is assigned the king of, and 14 is assigned the ace of. And basically, whatever that suit is on the end of it. So, and then of course, everything else is two of or three of whatever suit up until the number 10. Okay. Then we created a couple methods. One was to shuffle the cards. So they weren't just going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. So it would shuffle them. And then finally, a draw method to take the cards one by one as we're accessing it. Next, we needed to divide this up into two separate players. So uh, each player is going to get a hand, which is essentially going to draw a card with a value on it and a name and what have you. And then it's going to describe the scoring method and everything like that. So we have the describe method, we have the flip method. So when you flip that card, it comes up and the draw method. You take the card, you flip the card, and then the increment score uh, basically figures out the score that you receive for drawing that one card for that one player. Um, I put in a get score method down here. It wasn't part of the assignment, but I wanted to do that for the main method, just to kind of break down everything when the time comes. So and once we have that, we create an app here that kind of runs everything for us. So it sets up, um, a deck and two players, and then it calls the shuffle method in, and then it basically shuffles and everything like that. And then it essentially um, sets up a deck of cards, and then it's divided by each player. So a typical deck of 52 cards, and then each player draws one card. So it would draw each player would draw 26 times. And then it breaks down the flipping and everything and the value of the cards and everything right down here. Um, so it does all that, and then it compares the two, and basically if player one has a card that's higher than player two, it'll say player one wins this round. If it says player two has a higher card than player one, or it ends up with player two having a higher card than player one, or I should say if player one has a lower score than player two, then it says player two is going to win this round. And then finally, if there's in the instance that there's a draw where both of them decide to take a card that's the same value, it ends up in a draw. After everything goes through, there's again that get score method comes into play, so it gets the whole total score for each round that the individuals had played, and then finally it compares those final scores and will come out with the end of saying like player one wins. If player one has the most winning rounds, it'll say player one wins. Player two has the most winning rounds, it'll say player two wins. And in the instance of both player one and player two getting the same amount of wins and losses, it'll say it's a draw. So if all works according to plan, I'll press this run app and boom.